Peter, I had Chris Giancarlo in my studio a couple months ago. He was former chairman of the CFTC, and he wrote a book called Crypto Dad, and he's part of the Digital Dollar Association, I think it is, where it's a proactive group of people that are trying to bring in, I guess it's a Fedcoin or a CBDC, that has the values of freedom in it as opposed to control and oppression, which he says the digital yuan is now all about and has been rolled out to 70 million people, and it's all bad news. What do you think about the upcoming Fedcoin? Do you know much about Chris and what he's doing? Do you think there's hope for a CBDC that has good things for Americans or the world?
No, in fact, I think the opposite. I think to the extent that the US government could get everybody, or maybe even force everybody, into utilizing a Fedcoin, they will be in a position to do even more damage to the economy. And America will be in a position to strip Americans of even more of their individual liberties and of their rights. Because right now, with the system we have right now, if you have cash in your pocket, you can go out and spend it, and the government doesn't know what you bought. Right? The government doesn't see that transaction, and they don't like that, but that gives you a degree of privacy and a degree of freedom, because they can't stop you from using that cash. And also on the other end, I mean, if you are paid cash, the government doesn't know that you got it unless you tell them. But if we completely eliminate cash, and the only way you can transact is with a Fedcoin, the government knows every single dollar that you spend and what you spend it on, and every single dollar you're paid and what you sold and who paid you. And that is a very dangerous position to be in. And not that I'm saying, hey, I want people to get away with crimes. No, but I don't want the government to have so much power that it can start taking things that are not crimes and make them crimes and turn law-abiding citizens into criminals. Remember, if you have a corrupt government and then you have an uprising to try to throw out the corruption, now you're a criminal, right? Because the government can redefine the rules, right? I mean, there were criminals, you know, in Nazi Germany. Not that I'm going to make the comparison, but you know, if you were helping Jews escape, you were a criminal, right? But you know, but was that a crime? No, those were the good people that resisted bad laws. But the more powerful the government is, the harder it is for the underground to fight back. And you don't want the government to know every single thing you do. And of course, if the Federal Reserve is able to expand money supply with paper, imagine how much easier they could do it with crypto, and they can even micromanage it. They can say, okay, you have more currency, but you have to spend it here, or you have to spend it there, or you can't use it for this, or there's an expiration date. You got to spend the money. They can really try to micromanage the economy, which means they're going to screw it up even more than they're doing it now. So no, I think that we should resist giving the government that much more power and surrendering what's left of our individual liberties and what's left of our privacy. We don't have much financial privacy left. I mean, that's what all this banking rules are about. So nobody has any privacy. So every single transaction you make is reported to the government. And again, you know, yes, they may be able to catch a few criminals, but they're soon going to be catching a lot of honest people, because they can harass their political enemies by having all this information about where you spend your money, what you buy with your money. It may help the government identify the people who they don't like, because you're buying things that they don't approve of, even if they're legal things. You know, it's a George Orwellian society that we should not want to live in. We want to keep government power in check so that individual liberty and freedom can be secure. And you know, the smaller government is, the greater our freedoms and our liberties.
Yeah, and we saw some glimpses of that with, well, I guess the Canadian government went in and shut some people's balances down and their crypto down when they were supporting the trucker strikes.
Yeah, because they gave money to the truckers that were opposed to the vaccines. You know, I mean, look at all the stories about how, you know, the IRS was targeting conservative organizations, right? Well, one of the ways they know if you're a conservative, they look at where your money goes, right? Who did you, what political organizations did you contribute to? What events did you go to? I mean, they will know everything about you. A lot of people get upset because, Facebook, knows where they're spending their money. I don't care if Facebook knows where I'm spending my money. What are they going to do? They're going to sell it to advertisers. Can they harm me with that information? No. All they can do is show me products that I might want to buy. I mean, the fact that advertisers know what I like, that's actually a good thing, because they may point me to products that I didn't know about. And now I'm going to improve my lives by buying them, because private businesses can't hurt me knowing what I like. All they can do is help me. They can't take my money. They have to earn my money. I have to give them my money voluntarily, and I'll only do it if I think what they're giving me has more value than what I'm giving them. Otherwise, I won't make the transaction. The problem is when the government knows everything about you, because the government has power. They have brute force. They can take stuff away from you, and there's nothing you can do about it. They have the guns, right? And so that's where you have to worry about power and information. You don't want the government knowing every single thing about you, because they will use that information to harm you.
Will we be able to resist a Fedcoin? I mean, that will be hard, right?
I think Americans have a hard time resisting anything the government wants to do. At one time, we were a nation of rugged individuals that wouldn't stand for that knew the evils of government and were committed to keeping government in its place. But now you have so many people that look to government to solve all their problems. They look at government like Santa Claus, and government can do no wrong. There's no right that they're not willing to surrender to get something from government. So the nature, the character of the American public has changed dramatically, probably over the last 50 years. So the government can pretty much get away with anything. It's very unfortunate.
I'm wondering if they bring in the Fedcoin and you don't want to be monitored. I might see Peter Schiff using Bitcoin.
Well, then I could just lose my money because Bitcoin can crash. I want to use the cryptos that are backed by gold, or more like I could use actual silver, in barter and stuff like that, or as money, because then the government wouldn't know what I was doing. Especially if, what I want to do is not criminal. Remember, if the government, let's say the government goes for price controls, like they did in the 1970s. Well, if there's price controls, that means there's shortages. And you won't be able to get things because they're not going to be there. But there will be an underground economy, right, where you'll be able to buy stuff for prices that are much higher than the legally allowed price. But anybody who is selling on the black market is committing a crime. If you're buying on the black market, you are committing a crime. But is that really criminal? If you want food and the only way to get it is to buy it illegally, is that a crime? I don't think so. I think it's a crime to impose price controls. It's a crime to create shortages. If I have to break the law in order to get the food that I need or the gas that I need, I don't consider people who are breaking that law lawbreakers. It's the government that is breaking the law by imposing these unconstitutional restrictions in the first place. But the government would make the underground economy impossible if we had no way to transact without the government knowing it.
Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, got to do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done. I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you got to pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.